Squad member Cori Bush has lost her re-election effort, falling in the primary in Missouri. She had this to say about her loss, taking aim at AIPAC, which funded her opponent significantly. Let's watch.
Pulling me away from my position as Congresswoman. All you did was take some of the strings off. Some strings that I have attached, and as much as I love my job, but all they did was radicalize me, and so now they need to be afraid.
So she's not happy about her loss.
No, she's not happy about her loss. Wesley Bell is someone who had a pro-Israel group, AIPAC, very well known, spent $8.5 million to oust her in this election. And she's not happy, rightfully so, that a foreign entity can spend so much money influencing U.S. politics. I always say that if this was Russia or China, this would be very bad. This has been widely reported as Cori Bush says that she's now turning her attention to tearing down, the Jewish kingdom, which is not what she said. She said AIPAC. And a lot of people have mistaken criticizing Israel and criticizing the United States, bolstering the IDF and Israel's military and supporting their war on Gaza as being anti-Semitic. It's very different to criticize a foreign government and their influence over U.S. politics from making statements about the Jewish faith and the Jewish people. So I think we should be very careful about how we address this from Cori.
Yeah, I have no disagreement with you there. I saw some person who posted the speech online and then posted it with the caption, a quote, "American Jews, I am coming for you," which is a really vile and incendiary thing to say. Watch the clip. We just played it for you. She does not in any place say that exact quote. What she says is that I'm coming for you, AIPAC, I'm coming for your kingdom. You can have whatever view of her you want. You can think she's unhinged, as I kind of do a little bit, in terms of as I called attention, her faith healing remarks that she wrote about in her book. Her thinks she has the magical ability to heal people's tumors, but we should be accurate in reporting what she said. She did not actually say the statement that American Jews, I'm coming for you, and so that was a very unfair smear. What she did face was, yes, a lot of funding for AIPAC for her opponent, and yes, she lost.
Right, and she's also not the first black woman who ran for Congress. Senator Nina Turner of Ohio is another, contender of the progressive movement who was ousted by a candidate bankrolled by AIPAC. And there's something to be said for this happening over and over. And this amount of money being spent on races to oust people, especially when it happens in primaries, is just really ridiculous. Couldn't that money be better spent, pushing the Democratic agenda, pushing candidates that are strong to win in maybe red districts? I think if you're a Democrat and you care about Democrats winning, you should question why so much money is being put in primaries to oust actually very popular national figures in the Democratic Party. Cori Bush, protested outside of the Capitol, slept outside because there was about to be an end to the moratorium on evictions during COVID. Many people lost their jobs and couldn't pay rent, and it was seemingly unsafe to have them pushed out of their homes. She got that done. She came to Congress as a Ferguson protester, and she brought those values to Congress. She was very vocal, one of the first House members, representatives, to call for a ceasefire in Gaza.
Well, her opponent has a similar origin story in terms of the Ferguson stuff, if I am correct on that.
In 2022, it's important to also note Cori Bush withheld her vote on the Democratic budget until they funded transit repairs for flooding. So when St. Louis was destroyed by flooding, there were videos of Cori Bush with her constituents in their basement showing the damage and the flooding that they endured. She understands what people in her district are going through, and she fights for it, and she won $214 million for communities to address this impact of the flooding. I think that's huge, and I think losing someone like Cori Bush because there's a foreign government that wants to influence our politics is really sad.
Yeah. I think, though, the evidence is probably that she was just a little too radical, progressive, and left-leaning for the district she was in, or that her antics people thought were embarrassing. Again, the belief in magic, paying for a lot of security while taking the position that defunding the police was a good idea, and so on and so forth. So this is the second squad member to go down to defeat. Jamal Bowman also lost a primary challenge, also faced AIPAC money funding his opponent. So certainly many progressives are going to feel like, having picked this fight with the pro-Israel lobby ended up being an issue that hurt them. Now, of course, AIPAC also ran ads against, on the Republican side, they ran ads against Thomas Massie, who, won his primary challenge dramatically. It had absolutely no effect. I think he actually even liked that someone was calling attention to the fact that he was unwilling to spend American tax dollars abroad. It's like a commercial for him because that's a very popular opinion actually among the Republican base, which is something the elites don't understand. But it's certainly made an impact on the Democratic side, the funding here.
Yeah, I think there's something to be said for it took $20.5 million to unseat Jamal Bowman and Cory Bush, $8.5 million in Cory Bush's case, $12 million in Jamal Bowman's case, coming from AIPAC. Now, if these two squad members, progressive members of the House, were ousted because their ideas were unpopular simply, and the progressive vision's not popular among regular people, it wouldn't take $20.5 million to get them out. Also, they both defeated very centrist, very establishment Democrats. Elliot Engel in Jamal Bowman's case.
When they were first elected
to their position. They were running on progressive values after the district was represented by very establishment candidates. Elliot Engel in Jamal Bowman's case. William Lacey Clay in Cory Bush's case. So if the values and the ideas were not popular, they wouldn't have gotten elected.
I think it's a little naive to say that when the progressives win, it's because everyone loves progressive ideas, and when they lose, it's because it's unfair. People spent too much money running against us. I don't know. That seems
when you win
to me
on ideas and on grassroots efforts because people in your district believe in your campaign and are organizing for you, that's very different from someone winning who's backed by a ton of money. That takes actual support of people on the ground, not just billionaire
money doesn't
donors.
buy. What do they do with that? Money doesn't buy votes. Money calls to attention the unpopular things about the person. Generally, true things. Attack ads are not untrue.
Truthful. They don't have to be truthful. No, they can be misleading.
They can be truthful but misleading.
Right, and you can sue afterwards, but they can lie, and unless you have the money for a lawsuit, you're not going to be able to sue them.
So did anyone literally lie about her? Did they make some claim that is like an outright lie about her? Or did they just call attention to some of the kooky stuff she said and done?
They said that she's anti-Semitic. They put pictures of her out that were doctored, that stretched her face out in a way that made her look different. People said that was racist and they were creating racist caricatures of her. There were many things that they did that were just very dirty in this campaign and very misleading. And so when someone can afford $8.5 million in the case of Cory Bush, $12 million in the case of Jamal Bowman, you can pay for a lot of information to reach people with these attack ads. And if that's all they're getting, of course that can influence an election. It's not buying votes, but it's the next closest thing.
All right, well, we will continue following any developments there, and we will have more Rising right after this.